All right, we're a couple minutes late. I was goofing around trying to make a coffee, so apologies for being late. Today, I alluded to this, and it sounds like Dan, my man, is excited. I alluded to that Hack of the Week is coming back. I'm not going to do it right now. We're going to do it first thing out of the break. But it is a very, 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 very good debut for Hack of the Week.
Oh, you want to get this as top Hack of the Week, start kicking off the program.
Yeah, well, I think it has to be. I think it absolutely has to be the first. You're not even. I'm sorry, but you can't have a Hack of the Week.
Oh, no, I have a Hack of the Week.
No. This tops the Hack of the Week to every fullest degree, and it could not. You can't have
Are you giving me the big sell right now?
I'm giving you a big sell at the current moment. I absolutely am giving you a big sell.
Okay. All right. Then, all right. Can I burn mine then at the top of the show?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
What do you got?
my I guess now invalid Hack of the Week. And I know before we get to the Thursday Night Football discussion, we need to have a real honest conversation about Al Michaels mailing it in on Thursday Night Football.
What are you doing?
I love Al. I love Al Michaels. I have a lot of love in my heart for Al Michaels.
I very vaguely remember this, but like there was one time when I was at NFL Network when I was an intern there in the summer, and he was there. I think he was recording some sort of VOs or something. He is so much older than you think he is.
Oh, I know.
He sounds like really sharp and like he's really, really much younger and up with it. It sounds like he's in his 60s when he's doing these broadcasts. He is as 80 as you possibly could be.
Joe, I get it.
Mailing it in on him, man.
I'm just saying, and it's not just me noticing it. People are noticing the lack of energy. I didn't even mind the lack of energy. I like when he just kind of calmly breaks down the game. But if you'll notice, he's just kind of doing what what your dad would do commentating the game, pointing out what they're cutting to on the screen. Like, oh, there's the Falcons cheerleaders. Oh, and he's just.
Why are you hating on him, man?
He's just saying what's on the screen.
He's sharp for an old man. He's pointing out that he sees things.
He is a top 5 old dude that we have walking right now. I love him, but for the gold standard, someone that is so professional, top notch, he called Young Wei Koo Young Ho like 3-4 times last night. It's just like that's a non-Al Michaels mistake.
It's spelled Young Ho.
It's spelled Young Ho, but it's Young Wei. This way, that way, Young Wei. And I get it. Nobody should ever need to know the Falcons kicker's name because they've been so bad and tragic. Like, why would you ever need to know that? But if it's a primetime game, I just kind of need it to be a little more accentuated. And especially with how that game was going, Al Michaels kind of on the Hack of the Week hot seat for me. Need him to be better. And also, the Herb Street makeup, they are doing him zero favors on Thursday night. The Amazon Prime makeup department is the Homer Simpson makeup shotgun, where they just blast it in his face and say, all right, go ahead.
The one thing that's... Amazon still doesn't really know, I think, what they're trying to do, because to that point, you've got Al Michaels at the end of his career. You've got Kirk Herbstreit, who is a college guy who... You listen to him talk, and there's a lot of things that he's missing, and there's times where he's mispronouncing guys' names because it's hard to be able to be a color analyst and just an analyst for both things unless you're just a general radio guy. And then there's that whole thing that they did with it was Nikki Glazer, who's the comedian at the end of the broadcast. It's weird. You're trying to figure out like where they're going with this, and whenever there's something new that's revolutionary, that's like really changing the landscape, especially in media and broadcasting, you usually can tell when those changes are being made. It's like, oh, this is where this is going to be different. This is going to be better. This is really exciting. It just feels like they're kind of throwing a bunch of ideas against the wall and seeing what sticks. I don't think any of it really has been aligned. And the biggest question here is, I don't know how much longer Al goes. Does Al stay in the booth with Kirk? Is that what's going to happen here? I don't think that Kirk has really earned that right to stay in the NFL booth. It's just very odd, the whole thing.
I think Amazon tried to be too cool too quick. Like, they were early career Joe Buck when they were kicking it off. And they tried to jump to now suave people's favorite Joe Buck, where they had all the players on the panel. You had Andrew Whitworth, who was a hot name, and he's a big offensive lineman. Richard Sherman, kind of polarizing figure. And then you have Ryan Fitzpatrick, chest hair all over the place, trying to be Mr. Cool. They jumped the gun at a lot of places and kind of tried to force their own evolution, in my opinion. And that never really goes over well with real football fans. If you're really trying to make a push at it and trying to make Amazon Prime Video a legitimate destination that stays around broadcasting football games for decades, ease us in. Because football fans are stupid, impulsive people. As a stupid, impulsive person right here, we don't like that kind of quick change. We don't like all the new faces being shoved in our face immediately and being told like this is the most important broadcast booth and panel that we've ever seen. The field still looks way too dark. They're starting to slowly fight that, but they're not there yet. They just need to trust that it's going to be a slow burn, and they don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm in total love with the way that these broadcasts have been, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're going to be reacting to Thursday Night Football and more, as well as the mailbag. We're going to hit the break, and we're going to be right back.
And now, back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for like probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say it
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by the teammates every week. And, it's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City. I'm Joe DeLeone, I don't know why I forgot how I opened the show. I'm Joe DeLeone with my co-host Sean Anderson, 2 former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. I got hit on the head.
Yeah.
I forgot how I always open this show. Maybe it means we need a new way to open it. I'm just going to start cursing at everybody. Everybody seemed to be receptive to me doing that at the end of last episode that we did. Today, we're going to be reacting to Thursday Night Football. The Falcons pulling off a crazy victory in overtime, coming back. It looked like they were going to be done after Kirk Cousins threw that interception. That's coming up, as well as the Hack Bag, our weekly mailbag, and a return to Hack of the Week with a banger. Sean, Bet Online, do the read.
Yeah, we have Bet Online that we're going to tell you all about. Some of the baseball lines. I gave you a big fat loser earlier in the week. I'm going to give you a winner here.
A lot of people were pointing that one out, by the way.
Oh, I got hit with Sean. Stop betting NFL. Please stick to college. I should, but I won't because I won 2 bets last night at Bet Online. I cashed out on the Bucs. That was nice because I knew it was going to be a mess. But I also took Baker 2 touchdowns and a Bucky Irving over 49.5 total receiving and rush yards. Nice fumble, Irving, loser. But a nice baseball line I have for you. The Detroit Tigers are rolling. They're underdogs against the Cleveland Guardians. I know the Guardians have a nasty, filthy pitching staff, and they've been playing with vibes. But the Tigers are hot. They swept the Astros. They're giving 1.5 points in this first game. I like them on the money line, plus 133. Detroit, until you fail me, I'm going to keep on betting on you. I'm going to keep doing it at Bet Online, who has every stat, every matchup, live odds, spreads to bet on during the games. If you think you know your stuff, I'm going to tell you about their $200,000 mega contest. You're sick of hearing me tell you about it, but you can win big money. Pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200K when the game's over. Online casino, hand of blackjack, hand of poker, play a slots game, come out nice and stinking rich and have a good weekend. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet Online, the game starts here.
All right. So this Hack of the Week, for those who don't know what this is, Hack of the Week we used to do, and this is actually a bit of an old segment. We did a variation of it when this show was called Get to the Point, and it was me, it was Sean, it was our former teammate Jake Fire, R.I.P., even though he's not dead.
Oh, I'm going to get so many people in that stream. I'm sending this out to everybody.
Liar.
Yeah, okay, Fire.
Liar. So, and I'm very curious. Oh, I forgot to explain this. So Hack of the Week is intended to be someone in the media, or actually it's very specifically supposed to be someone in the media. It could also be an athlete that does something that's very hacky.
Yeah.
Just very ridiculous. That's trying a little bit too hard. Anything that fits to that degree. If you don't know what a hack is, I implore you to look it up. Look up some more examples. This one that I have today, I said this to you a second ago. Ryan didn't give me the same appreciation for this. I think that you will in recognizing what is happening here in this situation. Sean, Ryan sent this to me and was just intending to send it to me like, hey, look at this, kind of clowning on it. And then it took me a second to go, what the hell am I looking at? Backtrack a second here. Max Chadwick, who is the college football analyst for Pro Football Focus. He is a good guy. He is somebody who is growing in the industry. He does good work.
He does a show with a friend that has a very strong chin, is what I'll say. He's got a strong-chinned co-host that doesn't look like a bit of a slob.
Okay. So I've exchanged DMs with Max before last year when right when he was at the beginning of his career as a host, like right when he was starting out and right when I was like starting to grow as a college football host, draft host, all those things. And, we had DM'd about growing a channel, growing content, all those things. So we followed each other. He has a new account. He didn't follow me when he got the new account. I don't know what happened to the old one. And I noticed today, after Ryan sent me their mock draft episode, what he looks like. Before we get to that, though, he had all of last year, my bio, I had in my bio. I probably hate your favorite team.
Mm-hmm. Real original.
Not original. It's not original. It's not. Max's bio that I noticed after a year and a half of having this in my bio, his was definitely hate your favorite team.
Yeah.
A little odd. Kind of irked me a little bit, but I wasn't going to make a stink about it because, again, it's not super original, but a little weird that I've been in contact with this guy. He's quote tweeted my stuff before. I've commented on his stuff before. All of those things. We've interacted a decent amount.
Yeah.
We don't interact anymore for some reason. And he never looked like this. I need you to look at this. Look at this picture of him.
Is he?
He has a beard and the same glasses that I have. He doesn't have those. That's the first time he's ever worn those glasses. What the fuck? That's weird. Am I crazy?
Oh.
Am I crazy? What am I missing here? What am I missing?
Oh, he's got the comrade glasses.
No.
He's got the tan logo hat.
I did this on purpose. I put the hat on purpose.
That's ridiculous. So you're saying he's stealing your bit. He's stealing your whole...
He's got the same bad beard and the glasses. I don't have a good beard. This is my second try of trying to grow it out. It's not really going very well, but he has the same poorly grown-in beard and the same glasses.
It doesn't help.
Let me pull up another one.
That you both look like Rack. I'm going to say this right now. Rack, do not add him to Rack City.
No. Do not add him to that
shit.
Don't do that.
Order. Do not do it. And this
is
not going to be some wacky, funny bit. It's going to be Rack gets a timeout from Rack City if he adds Max Chadwick. A legitimate one. That is... So you think he's seeing Joe DeLeone blowing up and says, this is the vibe. This is the aesthetic. His wispy hair.
No. I don't have wispy hair. I think that it is subliminal. I think that he just happened to do that. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know if he's copying me. I don't know if he just happened to do this. It's weird. Here, wait, I'm going to...
You know what? If I walked in here on Saturdays with a dozen donuts and an Essentials t-shirt, you'd think that I was ripping off Big Cat. Like, there are things that people...
Right!
I don't do that.
Wait, not to cut you off, and I'll let you finish your point in a second. I have a decently unique look, okay? I do. I'm not a former offensive lineman that's enormous, that's, or a former linebacker that's super jacked or any of those things. I'm also not one of these super chiseled reporters or anything like that. I'm not like Joe Sorallo, who's got the big Italian Guido vibe going on that he puts out there, the handsome Italian man.
Say that, pal?
I'm allowed to say that because I'm Italian. What's my last name again? Do you need a reminder? It's DeLeone. I'm allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that.
Pardon me. Here's some stuff.
I'm not any of those archetypes. Neither am I one of the journalists that kind of shows up sloppily dressed and tries to put on a little bit of an appearance. The glasses, the beard, the hats. I don't see many other people dressing like this on shows. And a similar type of facial hair.
Look.
Here, wait, I have one more picture. This is the thumbnail of the video.
All right. Oh, no. Oh, my God. They're the same glasses.
They're the same. I've never... Well, and while you're talking, I just want to go through and check.
And look, you used to have the same glasses as Keith Olbermann, but that wasn't because you were trying to be like Keith Olbermann. They were just the glasses you
Those
had.
were super generic glasses. Like
I haven't seen this dude wearing glasses. I don't know if he's a glasses wearer. And I think if you're if you're somebody that's just putting on glasses for an aesthetic, it is like sixth layer of hell. So sick of that. Like it's just find a new slant. All right. The people with glasses need glasses. I'm one of the gifted few that doesn't need glasses and can raw dog life with my regular eyes. Yeah.
These are their YouTube shorts.
No glasses, no glasses, no glasses.
Any of these.
And now he's just deciding, look, I'll say this, glasses do make you look smarter as a person. If you're coming off as somebody that wants to be analytics based or a little bit on the nerdier side, glasses do help you. I know that you're a big dumb meathead at the heart of your soul, but at the way that you present yourself, it's a bit nerdier. So with the glasses, that helps. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to be, look at me, I'm wearing glasses. I'm more professional because of my glasses. And that is hacky.
None of his Instagram. Okay, here's a graduation picture of no glasses. There is not a single picture of him wearing glasses in any of his Instagram posts. None of these tagged posts that he's in. Sean, this is insane.
That is legit hack category. How would Ryan not pop for this?
Well, yeah, this was Ryan's.
Maybe he's a more secure individual and isn't constantly, looking out for their own vanity.
This is Ryan. Well, I'm very vain. So this is how the conversation went. He sends it to me, and I go, and I said, "Why did you send this to me?" And then I go, "Wait, did he copy my glasses, Ryan? He grew the same bad beard as me." And then I explained the bio thing to him, and he goes, "Oh, shut up! You actually think he's copying you?"
Look, okay, I don't think he's directly copying. I would so be on Ryan's side in this, but because typically that's how I deal with your constant mania. But in all the conversations that we've had since living together again, we've taken note of a lot of different media people. We just have conversations about it.
Yeah, we work talk about a lot of people's shit.
This Chadwick development is genuinely shocking.
I'm not crazy.
No. This is genuinely, and it
One
could.
More time.
And I'm sure.
I'm not crazy.
Oh my God.
Like it couldn't be.
Oh.
There's two parts of this. If he had just grown out the beard, wouldn't have said anything. If he had gotten the glasses and started wearing the glasses, probably would have thought it was weird, wouldn't have said anything.
Mm-hmm.
Both.
It's just, you think it's obvious. You have to think that maybe 15% of it, he's like, okay, this is a really good look. I know this look works. There's got to be some subliminal.
I think it's more I don't know what it is. The weirdest part that it does come down to, the bio thing is a little uncanny. You know, like he copied my bio and I changed my bio because I was like, we can't have the same freaking bio because we're like the same type of host. It's weird.
Look, it's kind of like hacky, safe bio language. Probably hate your team. That means I'm, talking college football and I'm opinionated. Mine, way different, way out of the blue. I think I have in a jacuzzi catching the Holy Ghost, which is a great bar.
What is that from?
It's from
Doom, or is
that... No, that's a Life in the Day of Benjamin Andre. One of Andre 3000's best songs ever. Okay. It's fantastic. But I've never gone into that realm of like very safe bio. But that's you. That's your life. That's where you operate. And you have to expect there's going to be some crossover. And I think he kind of bent the knee a little bit. He should have changed his bio. You changing yours.
But that was what I said, is that it's not original enough where I'm going to message him and be like, dude, why did you copy my bio? You need to change your bio. I'm not going to do that. And I was like, whatever, I'm going to come up with something new. And I changed it to professional idiot. And I think that that's really funny because now what happens when people don't like my opinions, they think they have this gotcha moment where they screenshot it and they send it to me like, oh, look at that. And it's like, Why do you think that's in my bio, you
Yeah.
moron? You're the one who's falling for this.
You think Hack City wasn't named for also partial protection? Are you kidding?
It's the same bit. It's like, oh, these guys are a bunch of hacks. Yes, we know. We know that we're a bunch of hacks.
I love getting those tweets.
You mouth-breathing moron.
The Anthony Richardson clip is like, I guess he's a hack for a reason. I'm like, yeah, duh. Look, good. Way to take the bait, moron.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, what's next, though? Are we going to see a McDonald's challenge from him? Is he going to start tweeting about how... Yeah, Colin, go ahead and copy it.
I got problems with Colin this week, by the way.
Okay, we'll get to that. Is he going to start talking... Wait, is he doing another... the Whisperer or whatever the hell it was called? The Beaver?
Oh, no. Colin sunk himself to a level that I didn't think that he was capable of in a reply, where he was just catering to those two maniacs in Idaho, and I didn't really appreciate it. I expected more out of him.
I think we're done talking about this. I just need to ask one more time. I'm not crazy, right?
Okay, look. Generally, you are crazy. Like if...
All right, screw you.
But okay, if Orlovsky showed up to set with those glasses...
No, I wouldn't do that. But
yeah, so that's the difference.
My whole point of the groundwork of all this is that he and I are the same age. We do similar type of hosting. We do similar types of work. We have followed each other for a period of time. We have communicated with one another. We've quote tweeted each other's work. Suddenly his bio is the same as mine. Suddenly he has the same glasses. And now suddenly he's got the same damn beard. It's weird.
It's well, your beard is weird. But
yeah, I can't grow one. I'm trying aggressively.
I actually was starting to really like my beard, by the way, and then I had to take it off.
You look much better with it shaved.
I know. But if I was sitting here like 2 more weeks, it would have covered up the patch. Regardless, I don't think in this instance I'm not going to get on you for being a crazy person. You're well within your right to take note of this and to take at least some small piece of umbrage with it. Like you have a right to. You're well within your right to feel a type of way about it.
Okay.
What a development.
Yeah, this is
the saga. Now I got to track this thing. Do I have to follow him now? No, I'm not going to do that.
I'm going to be checking his appearance, though. If his hair starts growing longer and it's like the same length as mine,
well,
what's the 180 here? What do I do here to see? Because that's what I got to do. I need that. Here's how we progress this without him knowing that we're progressing this. How do I aggressively change my appearance and see if he'll track it? Should I get a face tattoo?
No. What if you went with sunglasses for a little bit? If you started doing
only sunglasses on the show? No, I can't do that. I hate people who do that shit.
I got you. Well, Stern pulled it off forever, and he's maybe a legend. What are you talking about? PFT made a whole career out of wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, but that's my whole point, is that like you have to have a very unique quality personality for it. Stern, PFT, it plays into his personality. He's hilarious. He's entertaining. It's who he is. No one is good enough of a host to wear glasses. You have to be a very, very good, unique host to do it. It's a part of his bit. It's not part of my bit. I don't think I would pull that off.
I'm trying to think what I would change. I mean, if he could go like,
I can't do only mustache because I look very predatory. Let's phrase it that way.
I can't do only mustache because you called me a lot of mean names after that infamous first watch party stream. But maybe
you look like a cop.
Maybe you go.
Big-headed cop.
I look like Farva. Maybe you go goatee to see if he trims off the. Like you're gonna have to bait him in some way. What's his co-host name?
Dalton Wasserman.
Let me see if he changed his bio.
Why? What was his bio?
Remember, it was that awful Larry
David.
David.
He thought that he was Larry David.
Oh, God. Act too much like Larry David for my own good.
No, he kept it.
God. I was hoping he changed that.
All right, we got to talk. Let's actually talk about Thursday Night Football. Moving on to talking about the game that happened this past weekend. Not weekend, it happened on Thursday. Thursday Night Football, Sean, is more than juiced up for the outcome. Didn't hear a lot of yelling last night, as one would expect. 36-30 as the Falcons come away with a late surging victory. They won in overtime. Kirk Cousins had himself a ridiculous performance, going for 509, 42 for 58 for 4 touchdowns, and then the very concerning interception that I thought the game was over. Like I was watching this game while I was playing NCAA, and I peered over right when the pick happened, and I was like, oh, this game's over. I'm sure Sean's probably
It was
screaming
over.
and yelling in his room and punching shit in his bedroom. But they found a way. They found a way to will their way back. I have said this, and I know that you are super negative and down on your own team. I really think that this Falcons team has something. This is 2 games where you have stared adversity in the face against teams that could not rally, that could not hold down and keep a victory. You stared down those situations and you found a way to win. Improbable spots. Both were pretty improbable. This one far more improbable.
Impossible
and you found a way
spots.
to win. What were your thoughts on that?
This was a massive win for Atlanta. And you know what? I was genuinely happy. I wasn't screaming and yelling last night. I wasn't in the mood to scream and yell. It just wasn't the night for it. But Tampa Bay is a playoff team. Tampa Bay is a serious franchise. Tampa Bay, since acquiring Tom Brady, has taken the steps to become a force in the NFC, a team that you cannot take lightly. Baker Mayfield had 5 incompletions last night, 3 touchdowns. He's a beast. He's a monster. The run game when they stop turning the ball over is great. Like teams should be scared of Tampa Bay. Atlanta wasn't. It was like it was so refreshing to see a grown-up at quarterback, a legitimate guy that could take control of the game, and even when the chips are down and you throw an interception, and Darnell Mooney has worst drop of the year candidate. He overtakes Ronnie Bell. San Francisco fans, you're too spoiled. That happens sometimes. But that Mooney drop was the knife in the back, and I was just so ready for this to be a Falcons loss on Matt Ryan night, where a quarterback goes for insane numbers and the defense doesn't play up to expectations and they choke it away in miraculous fashion. Like, if you followed the Falcons or the NFL, you know that this is their calling card. And they didn't do it, and it felt like I was walking on the moon. I haven't felt this way about a team in forever. Now, Bijan Robinson, if we're putting him on the Trevor Lawrence scale of prospect versus production, you can. He's an impact player. Drake London, welcome to the league, fella. 12 catches, 154 and a touchdown, and bossing up against tough hits and a very tough Tampa Bay defensive backfield that hits hard. Tampa Bay's such a good tackling team. They're so solid. And to see an offensive scheme come together, and even if it frustrates you with the final drive before the punt, where they run it and they give it to Algier again, and then they don't toss it up to Kyle Pitts ever.
By the way, that third and 3 call where they gave it to Algier, and then they did convert on that drive. But
yeah, but
that was the first time I was like, oh, they are out of this thing. That was what they called.
It takes miracle after miracle, and Zach Robinson, I'm learning, is he's a hot hand apologist, which I don't really love. I love having well-schemed plays that are going to work, or having 2
Is there a way
options.
to turn off my mic whenever I need to do that, by the way?
Yeah, I could, not from your end.
Okay, all right, continue.
Yeah, just cough in the mic. It's fine.
I wasn't a call. Well, I think our listeners would care.
I'm sure. They have bigger things to worry about, like you screaming about Max Chadwick for literally 20 minutes.
Ryan's late. Ryan, we spent 20 minutes talking about this. Go back. Seriously, go back. We talked about this for 20 minutes, Ryan. Please go back and listen to it. He thinks he's doing something here.
It's so... but
continue what you're saying.
It's so... like this is one of these rare feelings that you get as a football fan, where your team didn't embarrass you and they had their miracle win and all eyes were on them. And to see Kirk Cousins... It's inspirational. Like, I was a little bit inspired last night. He comes off an Achilles. This Falcons team has been so depraved of good quarterbacking the last 3 years, seeing literal bottom of the barrel talent for the NFL. And they've been crushed by upset losses. And it's just been a painstaking franchise. And to see him on that night throw for 509 yards and 4 touchdowns, it's just a different... It's a feeling of euphoria. And I'm just so happy for this team and all the guys. I'm happy for Daryl Hodge, who steps in and walks it off. I was elated.
Don't be so happy. You're 3-2. We're
dude,
5 games into the season.
I know, but it's been
being a little too happy here.
It's been a long road, brother.
I gotta say this though, Sean. I don't know how I feel about 58 passing attempts for your starting quarterback and only 18 rushing attempts. And I know that's such a bland way of looking at it, and there's so many different angles that come into this game, why they had to throw the ball that often. You're going up against a pretty good defensive front, and why they were really lacking success, except for the fact that Bijan was averaging 5.1 yards per carry. I always get kind of nauseous looking at a passing total like that. Well, I think because Kirk had the production that he did, and that he broke this record for the Falcons franchise, and that he had 509 yards, and that he was so efficient. He was 42 for 58. We're not talking about going 30 for 58.
Yeah.
I think the level of the throws and the degree in which he was succeeding and the way that they were able to finish this game makes me less worried. However, if they lost that game off that interception and the Bucs close out the game, then I think we would be having a very different conversation right now. I think we would be having the conversation of they don't know how to create a balanced offense. They are being too predictable by trying to throw the ball too much, and that was what led to the interception. But because they do finish, they do get into overtime, and they win in overtime with that big play, we can be a little bit okay with it. I think if I'm a Falcons fan and you have Bijan Robinson, that you should be hoping and saying every single week, we need to run him more. Just get him more touches.
Yeah.
I always get super frustrated, and it happens all the time, like really dumb example, but like how many times do you think of when you're playing Madden or NCAA and you're chasing somebody and you're just throwing the ball every single play and you're throwing picks and you're making mistakes? It's going to catch up to you at some point. It didn't catch up to you as much against the Buccaneers and you were able to succeed, but when it comes to a playoff game where you're starting to maybe not panic, but be like, oh man, we gotta ramp things up. We got to start picking up things through the air. We got to start throwing the ball. It's going to really hurt you if you get a matchup with the Packers in the playoffs, or if you get a matchup with the Eagles again in the playoffs. Whoever it is that you end up having to take on, you need to be prepared, and you need to have that balance in order to lean on the run game if in the inverse the passing attack's not working.
Now, I can rationalize last night's skew for two reasons. Atlanta was picking apart the middle because Tampa Bay was starting a rookie backup linebacker that was not, I think Courvoisier was out. So they had to pick apart the middle. Why not? You got a rookie in there. You have DBs going down. We're going to keep picking apart this zone because that's what Kirk can do. You want to throw him you want to have him throw him perfect balls and man coverage all night? No, I wouldn't want that for Kirk. I want him to pick apart the zone like a vet quarterback. And additionally, the Atlanta, Ryan Newsill at center, he's doing his best. He's doing better than I expected. But he's not that type of guy at center to be able to really anchor up that line for all their run stuff. Jake Matthews is a bit slower than he used to be on the outside. And I think Storm Norton is a better tackle than Caleb McGarry. The sacks say it all. McGarry had an awful sack that he gave up. I would have sat him another week. And
was it him? There was somebody that they were saying that was banged up.
McGarry came off a knee injury. He was all taped up. He got beat on the inside. So I get why the sacks happen. I'm used to seeing Atlanta quarterbacks get sacked. It happens. But for their mix last night, if you see that Kirk is on one, and he was on one from the first drive, I want him throwing that rock. If we're going to try to force the run and really, which I agree with. I agree with forcing the run. Mm-hmm. But if we're seeing how the game is going, I want a skew if it means that we can move the ball more effectively through the air, even though I'm a traditionally pound that rock down their throats type of guy. I liked that they understood and adjusted to what they needed to do.
I always come back to this, and this is my final thought on this and why. Again, I'm higher on the Falcons. I know that your fandom is going to influence your opinion on this, but we oftentimes, the NFL more than college football, oftentimes we tend to, and college football is actually starting to shift into this team building approach and momentum building because of the transfer portal and because of NIL. There's just so many new faces on teams every single year. There are teams right now that are going through this, but when you have a brand new quarterback and a new head coach, new offensive coordinator, there's a bunch of new faces on your defense, all of these things that you're encountering in an off season and stepping into the year, the first 3 weeks of the season are not going to go to expectation. It's how you're going to play when you are starting fresh in the month of October, in the month of November. It's Kirktober. I hate that. That's terrible.
Yeah,
I absolutely hate that. You said that, and I completely was just like, that sucks. Who says that?
Kirktober started in Minnesota.
Come up with something better. Holy shit. Kirking off.
You don't like Jones Timber?
No.
That's not
Jones Timber.
Yeah.
Jeez. Look, all I'm saying here is that now is the time where I think a team like the Falcons are going to start to hit their stride, and they get the Panthers next, which is to their benefit after a long week of preparation. I think that the Seahawks are beatable for them, and then I hate when we always do this where you come back around and you have to play the Buccaneers again, but they get them in the last week of October. There's plenty of opportunities for them to finish this stretch going into the month of November to be maybe not, what did I mention? There was 4 games, it was 3 games. Them being 6-2, 4, 5 and 3, somewhere in that measure, and they would be in great positioning to win the NFC South.
Yeah, this NFC South, I'm not writing out the Saints. I'm not writing out the Buccaneers one bit. I think that the Panthers are going to steal a weird one against at least 2 of those 3 teams throughout the rest of the season, which will cripple that team. And I just pray to God it's not Atlanta. Please sweep the Panthers. Everyone else, you're going to have just heart attack games.
Yeah, we're here hyping them up, and then next week it's going to be the game that nobody watches.
Oh, yeah.
But we get the check-in on Red Zone, and it's like, hey, by the way, the Falcons are down 3 touchdowns to the Panthers?
Who could have seen this coming? Kirk Cousins off a 500-yard game. And then
Hansen impression.
and now the Andy Dalton-led Panthers up 17-3 at the half.
That's absolutely going to happen. We'll see, though. We're rooting for him. I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting
Thank
for
you.
your happiness so that
Appreciate
you're
that.
less negative. All right, let's jump on over to the hack bag, of course. Am I missing something? Topic-wise?
No, we can bag it up.
Did we have any voicemails before I played the sounder?
We do have a voicemail.
Oh, okay. Let's get to the hack bag.
The mail never stops.
This is the Hack Bag. Hit us on Twitter for
What is that from?
Seinfeld.
201-834-4308.
Keep stepping on the production. Yeah.
You act like I'm not going to do that. All right, this is the hack bag where we take listener questions and we answer them. If you would like to send us a question, be on the lookout. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at HackCityPod. Or if you'd like to call in, a reminder, 201-834-4308. It's got a nice ring to it, so you don't forget it. Make sure you get us some voicemails next week. They're very fun to do. First question. I love this one. This is a good one. Actually, let's do the voicemail first. Do you have it queued up?
Yeah,
let's do the voicemail first.
No question here. I just wanted to remind Ron Lowry, or whatever the hell his name is, 75-42, the Bobcats are still the little brothers. Hashtag no Diddy.
What does the last part have to do anything with that?
I love it. You know what? If you all want to use our voicemail line to trash each other in the FCS,
I encourage that.
That is great. If you want to do, I guess, Montana versus Montana State beef and trashing Ron Lowney, loyal listener, that's fine with me.
I'd also, I think people need to be a little more creative with this. Like, if you just want to call in and give us your lunch order, like, feel free to do that. If you want to call in, and like say somebody at the DMV was mean to you and you didn't want to yell at them and you want to yell at us instead and just kind of
we could turn it into the FU line.
Like whatever you're feeling, just call in and leave us anything. If you're on the toilet, call us. We'd love to be a part of that.
I don't know
that experience. Hashtag real shitters. If you want to be a part of it, we're always welcome to that. That was a great call though. I have nothing to say to that. Do you have anything to say to that? I just thought that was hilarious.
You know what? I just I really enjoy that we're getting some good smack talk before the Montana State game. Keep it up. If you know what, I'd love a Ron response. If he feels like his name was taken out of pocket, I'd love for him to check in.
Yeah, Ron. I want Rack to leave one. I want Rack to leave a voicemail, but he's never going to do it. Dan, you can leave as many as you want.
Go ahead.
You could call us and leave 100. We will play all 100. Now, don't go and just call and then say one word and then hang up. No, they need to be legitimate statements, sentences, words. If you find the time to give us 100 phone calls and you have that many minutes in your phone plan, do they still?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think they do that.
But Dan, I know you were rooting for Hack of the Week. Listen to the replay. First 20 minutes of this show is rather unbelievable. So if you want to check that out, go back there.
I love this question from Chester because I have lived this. Chester, would you rather date an astrology chick or a chick that doesn't shower? So I dated a girl when I first moved to LA for like 2 months that was really into astrology and the crystals and all that crap. And I didn't realize that until a month and a half in. And then when I realized that she was a little bit crazy, that was when I ended that situation. So I would rather date someone who doesn't shower. I can't emphasize this enough. No. I can't emphasize this enough. I know that is gross. I absolutely understand that that's gross, but I can't emphasize this enough. Your life will be ruined if you have a long-term relationship with somebody who is into astrology. Your mental well-being will be ruined if you're in that situation. Thanks. Why did you have to put that on the screen?
Good comment, Rack. I am team astrology here.
Have you ever dated an astrology chick?
I have found actually somewhat decent success with astrology chicks.
The real astrology chicks are the ones that just like reading their horoscopes. The ones that believe all of their decision-making and lives are impacted by it. That's what I'm talking about.
Crystals. Talking about crystals. Because it's the whole...
You walk into a bedroom and there's crystals, you're screwed.
They dug the big dumb jock and the so there's
they all tend to love
some of that crossover, which I don't mind. Not showering, can't do it. And then
it's kind of
I'm not an armpit hair guy. It's like that whole scene is just that's not my.
It's kind of a trap question because.
There's some crossover.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's kind of like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle isn't a square. An astrology chick might not shower that often.
Sure.
But a girl who doesn't shower might not be into astrology. So that's part of my logic here. I remember, and I not to air this poor girl out. She was very nice, but she just it's just some things that are not healthy for when you're trying to date somebody. The way that she handled certain things. But I remember when I discovered her whole belief in this, I legitimately started questioning her. I was like, wait, so you're telling me that you believe that certain things are only happening for a specific reason and because you manifested them to happen? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, you realize that we're just a bunch of monkeys wearing pants on a rock in the middle of nowhere. Everything's random.
Yeah.
None of this is real.
Free will's an illusion. It's all fake.
1000% is. I understand that certain people wrap their heads around things in order to rationalize why certain things happen in their lives. But the minute that you start to look past that is when you realize that, like, hey, this doesn't operate the way that you think they do. I hate to say this, but oftentimes if someone operates that way and they think that way, it really does make me call into question their intelligence. Because you're kind of just blindly accepting something without trying to look deeper into why things happen. And the reality is it's typically your own actions.
As someone who's had spiritual, happenings with nature, like when I was out 15 miles off in the Florida Keys and I saw the deep blue ocean and it was unbelievable. Oh yeah, I already pinned that. Don't worry. He's on
the answer
fire
is yes.
Today. Like, I've had nice spiritual experiences hiking in the Smoky Mountains. It's good. The Japan trip, there was plenty of those. I didn't come back and buy a rock. I didn't come back and start getting tarot cards to read it. I just accept that the beauty of Earth is the beauty of Earth and that I'm just a person, an animal walking around on it. Not that there's some divine overlooking or overlord that's seeing and putting everything into place just for me. It's a little egotistical.
Sean's a ayahuasca enjoyer. Dan says get a job at the local newspaper and start editing the astrology portion. I like that idea. I absolutely like that idea. That's talk about toxic.
Hey, Tauruses, look out for a big monster walking down the street. He may be able to give it to you good.
All right, next question from Chester. What is the better grocery store? Erewhon or Leonard's? I feel like Joe is a big Erewhon fan. I have walked into Erewhon only a couple of times, and I've never purchased anything because every time I've walked in thinking that I could find something that's reasonably priced, I've been proven very wrong. I've got one friend who was the mastermind behind the McDonald's Challenge spreadsheet who works in finance. He has a very expensive taste. He came and visited me when I was in LA, and we went to Beverly Hills. And he was like, oh, we need to go in Erewhon. I need to get a bottle of water. And he bought like a $15 bottle of glass water that he purchased. And then we went to Goyard and he bought a $1,500 Goyard wallet. So like I was just blown away, but the lack of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like that you
value in his money. He's just throwing it away on stupid shit.
I don't really love that you pronounced Goyard like goiter. Like that's not really what I'm looking for.
How would you pronounce it?
Goyard. It's Goyard.
It's like Go-Gurt.
It's Goyard. It's not
Goyard.
Goyard.
Goyard. Oh, I'm gonna get some Goyard. What are you from the Middle East? Midwest, not Middle East. There's a big difference.
I have never seen either of these. Are these out west grocery stores?
I don't know what Leonard's
Leonard's looks kind of homey. That looks Leonard's.
Let me look
nice
up
and,
Leonard's.
It's brightly lit. It looks like there's nice wooden stands. Leonard's looks like it's gonna gouge you, but you're gonna kind of have fun walking around the produce. This Erewhon place looks like dystopian corporate greed.
Is it Stu Leonard's?
I just typed in Leonard's.
I've never heard of.
I've never heard of an Erewhon before. This is crazy. Northern Virginia, there was a Whole Foods. There was a the fresh whatever. Went to Safeway. It was a Safeway family. All right, in Southern Virginia, Giant family. All right, these are all too boutique. Yeah, not Erewhon. Leonard's for me.
Next question, Chester. Are you excited to try the Krabby Patty from Wendy's? I'm not a big Wendy's. Actually, if I were to pick a fast food, I probably would pick Wendy's.
The Baconator's the best big sandwich out of the big three.
Would you try the Krabby Patty?
Here's what look. The Krabby Patty. This is what they're gonna put on it. They're gonna put some like Chipotle aioli on it, or like
the secret
or like
Krabby Patty sauce.
Old Bay aioli, because Old Bay is associated with crabs. I already know what they're doing. It's gonna be a Dave single with an Old Bay aioli, which could bang. It could hit.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something a little insidious about the Krabby Patty coming in a square patty opposed to the regular circular. And you're never going to make a Krabby Patty look better than it did in the cartoon. You just won't. So I appreciate that Wendy's is getting in the gimmick game. I probably will try one just to prove my theory right. But yeah, I'm not that excited for it. It seems like a standard cash grab, and it's going to be a rather disappointing burger, but the hype is going to be the hype, and I feel bad for all the cashiers. They're going to have to deal with the SpongeBob shtick. It's going to be brutal for them. It's going to be as bad as the Travis Scott meal, where people are coming up playing sicko mode. Funniest,
or the Grimace Shake.
Funniest month on the internet was sicko mode in front of the McDonald's cashiers.
See, the only thing that's kind of lame with the Wendy's burger shit in this is it kind of feels real poet with my words over here. It feels a little manufactured with trying to get some sort of a trend that everybody's going to be talking about. Someone used a Plankton Twitter account to be like, "Oh, you made this too easy." I'd be willing to bet that was a Wendy's employee who posted that. It feels a little too try hard. I think that the sicko mode thing was hilarious. The Grimace Shake thing was hilarious. You just need to do something organic and hope that the brain-rotted idiot Gen Z morons latch onto it and find ways to ruin it. That's always the goal. Next question that we have from Quentin Krasisco. Was the plus on his name, or did I accidentally?
You actually added, and I would just pronounce it Crisco.
Crisco. How long can the Vikings keep getting away with this? Can we be more specific with this? Is it winning games and being the best offense in the NFL and turning Sam Darnold into a competent quarterback, or is it just existing?
I don't think Sam Darnold will keep on his literal MVP pace, but him and Kevin O'Connell have a legitimate connection and rhythm together. It is just synced up lockstep offense, which is fantastic. And as long as they don't start getting weird with it, and as long as they keep Aaron Jones, it can't just be, hey, we're going to have Sam Darnold throw the ball 50 times a game. That will collapse the Vikings. If it's, we're going to have Sam Darnold, we're going to need Sam Darnold to make 15 real throws. The other 15 are standard, and then we're going to have a good run game behind Darisaw, who is a really underappreciated tackle in the NFL. Then they can keep rolling. And you know what? These games that they're going to have against Detroit are going to be spectacular. The NFC North, when Green Bay gets healthy, and if Chicago ever becomes really competent this year, they just need to be competent. They're not going to be in the playoffs. But if they can be a little frisky, to steal another Big Cat term, then the NFC North will be the most fun division in football. And I hope the Vikings keep it up, because I thought they were going to be DOA at the start of the season.
I do think that reality sets in at some point, and I don't think that means, oh, they're knocked out of the playoffs and they completely crap the bed and they fall apart. I think that there is real life to this, especially because of the way that Brian Flores has coached this defense. But where the life sets in, no, they're not going to finish the year with 4 losses on the end of the year. They're probably going to be a 6-loss team. They're probably capable of winning the division. Yeah, to overachieve to that degree, I think is a massive accomplishment. Bison Rants asks, why do you think peanut butter Twix disappeared? In your opinion, which of the two is the superior Twix? I've never had the peanut butter Twix. Have you had the peanut butter Twix?
I'm going to fill you in real quick. I will, Ryan, you can't.
Well, how are you going to fill me in? Oh, it's a Twix with peanut butter on it? Is that how you going to fill me in?
Let me fill you in here, all right?
Ryan, yes, you can submit questions.
The original Twix is a perfect candy bar. It is top to bottom perfect. The chocolate has the perfect texture to complement the cookie and to complement the caramel on the inside. You can enjoy Twix however you want. It's really a perfect candy bar. To add peanut butter into it is too much going on. We have too many cooks in the proverbial kitchen in this instance, and they were just doing too much. I remember the big push. I remember Twix saying, hey, we're adding peanut butter because people love peanut butter. But Reese's has the domination on the peanut butter market. When Snickers decided to do their peanut butter stuff, that was a big L. Just leave peanut butter alone. Leave it out of it. Because when you have a perfect candy bar, it's never going to measure up when you try to make some type of addition. Even if they added nougat into it, which we're both nougat fans, Three Musketeers, Milky Ways, they're both stellar. But it wouldn't enhance the Twix.
Wait, there's nougat in Milky Way?
Yeah, that's the base. The base fluff is nougat.
I just eat the shit. I don't know what's in it.
Yeah, I can tell. But yes, the peanut butter Twix, much inferior, and I think that the public responded to that and acknowledged.
Yeah, I feel like that's too much going on.
And also, they had a red label on the peanut butter Twix compared to that shiny gold brain rot label that we all identify with. It's like, oh, shiny gold bar. That's the Twix. That's my dopamine receptors flashing. Ding, 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 ding. Fat boy, go get one, and I will.
Ryan, your question asking abilities have been revoked. We're not answering that question.
Heath bar.
Arrows for app. What kind of candy bar would I be then?
Oh, you are like a Nutri-Grain.
All right, asshole. Arrows for apples. Interesting name. Is Paxton De Laurent in the conversation for the Walter Payton Award? I think so statistically, and I would also argue that De Laurent has played to this point so well that he's the reason why that SEMO has been so successful. I mean, they won the SIU game because he played so great. I think he is. I don't know if he wins the award. I think it's probably going to go to Shunderick Powell, or I know Gronowski hasn't been playing like great, but he'll be in the conversation. Cam Miller is going to be in the conversation. I still think that we should be able to vote for David Walker, even though he's not an offensive player. But yeah, no, he'll be in that final convo.
Yeah, De Laurent, if he keeps on putting up gaudy numbers, I mean, the FCS is a perfect space for that, where if you really want to be in the conversation, like, I feel bad, like, when Bailey Zappi was at WKU and threw up, like, literally record-setting numbers, he wasn't involved in the Heisman conversation, which was disappointing, whereas in the FCS, we're going to throw you in for the final Offensive Player of the Year award if you go bonkers. I don't care where you play. If you are playing out of your mind and throwing for a bunch of yards and touchdowns, so be it. But, I mean, if we're going to do that, we have to involve McIver also from ACU, who's been having a stellar year also.
All right, last two questions that we have from Brendan. These are great. Why is Joe hoarding water jugs like he's trying to build a raft to escape a desert island? So I buy the big multi-gallon jugs and the refillable ones, like they're not refillable, but so you can keep refilling.
You could refill them if you wanted to.
Pass. Actually, no, that'd be really hard to refill. I don't think that
you would just open them up and put the tap water in it.
I buy those because I love microplastics. First of all, I try to throw.
You're not serious.
I like having microplastic in my balls, man. I don't know about you.
I am excited to be preserved like an old Big Mac in my coffin, where I never deteriorate, and I'm just constant. I'm just
all
looking exactly
plastic.
as I do. Yeah.
I try to throw them out as often as possible. I buy like 3-4 a week. I just kind of I went full toddler mode, and I was like, let's see how high I can stack this. So I wasn't throwing them away for like a week and a half, and I wanted to see how high I could stack them. They came crashing down as abruptly and as aggressively as possible as you could have imagined. Sean came bumbling out of his room to be like, what happened? What happened in here? And you started giving me shit for it. I don't care. I'm going to keep stacking them. I'm going to see if I can get so many of those that we can fill the entire floor of the apartment with them.
Here's one benefit, all right?
Okay.
You're drinking water, which means you're trying to be a hydrated lad, which is good.
Yes.
That is a step that everybody should take. You can see why was everyone looked so grown up in the 60s. They weren't drinking water ever, all right? They were dehydrated. They weren't older. So why we have these young, fresh faces is because we hydrate. But Joe you're never going to be able to rationalize or make sense of this alien that I co-host this show with, because he refuses to drink tap water. He's one of the most
I don't refuse to drink tap water, because if I go out to a restaurant, I will consume tap water. I don't care. If they told me they only had tap, I'm not going to be like, oh goodness, I can't eat it. I can't drink
that's
anything.
Only if you see a bug in the bar.
Shut up. That's not tap. Oh no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to drink it. I'm not that picky. I just, oftentimes tap, it will have a metallic taste to it, and I don't feel like consuming that. Second of all, oftentimes the public supply of water, it has shit in it. It's got fluoride in it. Sometimes it can have traces of rust, anything. It can have plenty of crap, especially in a highly populated city like this. Luckily, we're in a new building, so all the pipes are new. But that does not mean that the general water supply in this city is not somewhat tainted. I don't think it's bad to consume, but if that's all I'm consuming, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like drinking that much tap water.
I don't go into this battle with you anymore. Okay. I saw you doing it in college. Every year that we lived together,
that was probably the cleanest water that we were ever going to drink. Is that
E. coli in senior year? You don't remember that?
Not on campus. I'm talking about when we lived off campus.
That's when the E. coli hit. When we had to we couldn't shower. We had to drink our Powerades. It was only a week though. It happens. But I've drank tap and out of spigots and out of hoses my entire life. I will drink out of the tap before I have to waste time filling my bottle up at the fridge. You are, I'd say, 2 to 3 times more sickly than I am on a daily basis.
That's not
for
true.
Me being morbidly
not
obese.
Not true.
You cough.
We've been here.
And you fart. And you sniffle all day.
Okay. I was sick one time for a week and a half for a digestive issue for something that I ate. I'm not sick often. I get the normal amount that adults get sick when our immune systems start to weaken. Not when we're
Why does it get weakened? Because
we're older. Because we're getting older.
You're babying it with your microplastic spring water.
There's nothing babying it. If anything, I'm fortifying my.
You are not fortifying.
Extra plastic.
I am drinking the tadpoles, all that water that I'm getting.
2 to 3 times a year getting sick is a totally normal amount, and that's how often I get sick. I don't get sick more than that or less than that. You haven't heard me sniffle a shit ton because my sinuses are completely effed, and I haven't been to a doctor in 8 years.
Oh God, here we go. No, Ryan's pulling up the receipts. Yeah, Ryan, he was sick every week.
I got sick at the end. But that was one of the 3 times I got sick. I don't have children coming in and out of the house to build my immune system. I don't leave my apartment.
I gotcha. Look, I'm sick probably once every 2 years. I'd say. I don't remember the last time I had a cold or a flu.
I find that hard to believe.
I thug it out. As somebody who, when COVID, right now, when COVID was kicking up, I would have gotten priority.
I don't thug it out, but like, there's no way that you've only been sick once every 2 years.
I don't get sick, man. You know why? Because I drink from the tap.
That has nothing. Those are not correlative. The other comment that Brendan had is, as a follow-up, have you heard of a Brita filter, you pretentious weenie?
Oh,
I'm too lazy to buy. I'm too lazy to buy one. The problem with the Brita filter is you got to change the filter. I'm too lazy to change the filter. It's just a trap. It's just another trap of money that you're spending. You have to keep changing it. You got to keep filling it up. Like, it's just.
Yeah, that would really suck to do that once, opposed to hauling in 4-gallon jugs every single week.
Should we start doing? I've debated getting like a water cooler. You think we should do a water cooler?
Like a big one? Yeah, it's easy. We had one in the Duke studio. It was awesome. You could get hot or cold, but that's also a hassle. I could install it. It'd be fine.
Well, they come in. I have a funny story. 1 second, but the good thing with it is that they come and drop off the jugs, which is always like, very positive, and you don't have to lug anything. They'll come and bring it to the door. I also kind of loathe the assholes who just leave them outside of their apartment and they're just stacked up.
Oh, really?
Outside of the door.
The assholes who leave them stacked up outside of my door.
I was building a structure in our
apartment. It was not a structure.
It was beautiful.
The leaning
It was
tower.
It was a beautiful.
It
was beautiful. I'm talking about the assholes who let their garbage flow out in the hallway because they're too lazy to pick it up and bring it in. we had a water cooler in the office at Belief, and I didn't know that all you have to do, that there's kind of like a suction, I guess, where you take it and you flip it over and you just jam it in and it opens up the hole in the it pops it open in the jug.
lid. And it's nice and easy.
I didn't know that. I think you had to take it off and then put it over
and then hurry it.
Yeah, so I did it like 3 or 4 times with nobody in the office, just dumping water all over the ground. What? Nobody saw me do it because I was the only person in the office. I would be in the office at 7 a.m. and I'd be the last person to leave at 7 p.m. and I would do shit like that.
You're not a real person.
How
would that?
I was tired as hell. Tired as hell. I was just like, why is this designed like this? And then it occurred to me.
Oh my God. I get it. That's a blind spot. I have blind spots. It happens. That is hilarious that you thought that it was just going to be, oh my God. It's like the TikTok
really
of the guy.
Flip it over. I was like, I'm definitely doing this wrong. How do I get this right?
It's like the TikTok of the guy that pulls the pan out of the oven without gloves and says, "Oh, I hate this part."
I'm not that stupid, but yeah.
That's in the same. That's in the same ballpark. You're not at the home plate, but you're in left field.
I would like to point out, and I don't think it gets talked about enough. We're going to close the show after this point. I don't think that it gets talked about enough how fucking stupid human beings are, especially adult males from the age of 21 to, let's say, 24. Mm-hmm. And there's reason for that. The development of our prefrontal cortex, it doesn't finish developing until you're 26. Why a lot of people say that, like, suddenly there's just like a day where they feel like, why am I so locked in and focused, and why do I suddenly have all this motivation to actually be a productive human being? What the hell was I doing for the last 3 years? I think back to some of the things that I did over the last 3 years that were just so idiotic and ridiculous. I don't know how any adult put up with me for some of the things that I said and did and enacted.
No, it's embarrassing to look back on. It's just really a country full of dummies, and you have to just eventually...
We shouldn't be allowed to vote.
18 is way too young.
25 should be the voting age.
25 should be the voting age.
Should be the driving age.
Yes.
It should be the drinking age.
Dude, it's just jackasses all around.
Yeah. All right, at Joe DeLeone.
One more segment to close out Friday.
Shout of the week. Shout of the week.
Shout of the week. I'll keep it brief because you guys have stuck it out with us for so long today. Let's kick it off. Sean's shout of the week. Food. Joe got me all fired up. We were talking about oysters earlier in the week. I'm not going oysters. That'd be hacky. I'm going smothered mussels in a white wine sauce. That's what you should be looking out for. Get in a big cast iron skillet, 25, 30 mussels. Just slurp them down.
You act like you're going to make
bread.
that.
You got to go out and you got to outsource it. You got to go sit down.
I'm calling you off for a second. I haven't seen you accomplish the shout of the week yet.
Oh, I'm shouting.
What have I seen? I haven't seen you do the shout of the week.
This is how I progress, and I give good shouts.
If I don't see mussels in this kitchen...
You don't need to see... I'm not cooking mussels.
I'm not saying if you don't go out and buy mussels and consume them, I'm calling you out next Friday.
I give a good shout for everybody, all right?
You better start doing it.
Oh,
I want you to record it and post it on Twitter.
You know I'm doing
I want you to record
shouts.
it and post it on Twitter. Finish your shout.
Also, a lot of the shouts are what I've previously done, giving people their inspiration. Regardless, drink this week. Here's something I've done. Idiots. You're going to get with the lads this week. You're going to get a proper Irish drunk on. Pound 4 Guinnesses in the first quarter of whatever football game you're watching, and let the waves of Guinness take you to the Isles of Waterford, all right? Have a good, bloated, hearty drunk on. Watch some football. That's what you're going to be drinking. If it's nice out and it's sunny, maybe opt for a Stella. But I wouldn't go anywhere domestic this week. I would go Guinness, Stella, get a good Euro trashy drunk on. What you're going to be watching, watch this week or maybe late last week. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, 2005 kind of action comedy, detective-ish story. A lot of nudity in it, which I liked. Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer.
That was unnecessary.
Rush in this movie. Val Kilmer is such a jerk-off that you realize I haven't seen a legitimate acting performance in years. Look how they used to do movies 20 years ago, and you'll be embarrassed for some of the dreck that you watch now. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, watch it. It's fun. Some of the narration is a little dated, but for the most part, it's a good flick. Check it out.
My shout of the week that I'm actually going to accomplish. You're only watching football this weekend, no movies. We're only watching ball knower weekend. You're going to pay $50 to go to an Oktoberfest event, and you're only going to drink beer. You're going to think that you're going to drink more than what your ticket was worth, but because the lines are so long and so many people are being stupid and taking too long to order, you're only going to get about 4 in the 2 hours that you're there. You're then going to leave. You're going to go to another bar. You're going to drink a couple of tequila sodas. You're going to have a nice cheeseburger to finish up the night, and then you're going to wake up the next morning and take a really oily shit, and then you're going to turn on college football, and you're going to enjoy the rest of your day, and you're going to go to bed at 3 in the morning because that is when the Cal-Miami game is going to be over. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, at Hack City Pod, 201-834-4308 for the Hackbag voicemail line. Leave a 5-star review if you're tuning in on audio. Drop a comment below on what you thought of today's show on the video. Hit the like button, sub. You know the deal. We'll talk to you later.